Gabri Nasai Minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Geats episode 47. This is the third last episode of the series, so they have a lot of things they need to tie up, okay? And I don't know, man. Like I felt like this episode have like very little high, but there's quite a lot of lows. So one of the few high points in this episode is obviously we finally get to see Jito Henshin. That is really good, but that is also one of the lows because he Henshin just to get beaten by S in just like a few minutes segment, and then he just got destroyed. He is being deleted. That's it, okay? So that goodbye Jito and Suelu came back into the picture. That is another high point. And we got the introduction of Regard Omega. Holy shit. I was like, we get to see Zillion Driver, and then we get to see Regard. And then it's out of nowhere, immediately in the same episode, we get to see Regard Omega. So that is really insane. But the Zillion Driver, at first I actually make kind of like a connection between kind of like a Desire Driver and a Vision Driver. Like what's the difference? I talk about how a Desire is just a desire without a plan, but a vision is a desire with a plan. Right now, the Zillion Driver is you need the money to fulfill your desires, something like that. I don't know, man. I'm just making shit up along the way, okay? But the Zillion Driver looks good. At first, I thought that the Zillion Driver is gonna be gold in color and all those stuff, but after we saw what happened in this episode, apparently it is actually in silver in color. The belt is gold, but when they henshin, like there's kind of like a golden glow to it. So it almost kind of like trick you into thinking that, hey, it is actually golden in color and all those stuff. But the actual color is silver color. So that is also quite interesting to say. But then again, I don't know, man. Like I'm not a big fan of the Zillion Driver because it really felt like a premium Bandai version of the Vision Driver. If you actually take a look at it, it just have a different casing. The way everything function is the same, like the fingerprint and all the stuff. It's all the same, okay? So I mean, like might as well, like if you actually have you're gonna make a new driver for the final boss of the series, might as well make another version of a driver. I don't know, just a thought. But then again, it also makes sense to not diverge so much in yet another new driver and another set of collectible for the audience itself, because like in a sense, like if you do that, it's gonna feel like, hey, maybe you're not sure whether or not this driver belongs to the same family of Kamen Rider Geats series or not. I think that is kind of like why most of the time the driver is gonna look kind of similar, because they want to be in the same kind of family and same series, something like that. And just to save money as well, maybe like you don't need to reprogram everything again, like the LEDs and all those stuff. You just need to change the casing and change a little bit of the voice command, something like that. So that is something that I just want to talk about regarding the Zillion Driver, Regard, and also Regard Omega, Suelu, and Jito. And I think Jito being a kind of like just a part of Suelu, just kind of like his right hand man, like he designed him and he actually came out of Suelu. That is pretty interesting as well, the way they actually goes about to write the story. Because if they don't actually write the story like that, I would actually feel like it is a very I mean, you can still consider this as lazy writing, but I felt like they managed to bring Suelu in the picture very smoothly without actually forcing him to be at the final few episode of the series itself. Because like we all of us know Suelu is gonna be the final boss, but all of us has been wondering like how the hell is he gonna get introduced when Jito is still around. But now in this episode we found out that Jito has always been a part of Sueru. So it's like even you manage to defeat Jito, you only manage to defeat kind of like 10% of Sueru power, something like that. So I felt like writing it in this type of manner, it really helps to sell the idea that hey, Sueru has been behind everything all this while. But then again, that is just my thought. You can leave your thought in the comment section below. And next I want to talk about one other storyline that I felt like they managed to close it up, which I don't think anyone really give a shit about, which is the Jyamato storyline. Okay, so we finally get to see by the end of this episode, what was his name, Daichi if not mistaken, or I'm just gonna call him the Sparrow guy. The Sparrow guy at the end of this episode managed to control the Jyamato that he actually created. So this would, in a sense, if the Sparrow guy continue to become a good guy, we are not gonna have any threat regarding the Jyamato anymore. Okay, so like he can just ask the Jyamato, okay, now you don't kill human, you help to rebuild the war, okay? And then all the Jyamato is gonna be the forces, the war forces that actually helps to rebuild the war, something like that. So that is something that I felt like we don't actually need kind of like a conclusion to how to deal with the rest of the Jyamato that is still kind of running around the city and all that stuff. But it is still really glad to actually see that they make the effort to talk about that in a sense. Okay, just a thought. But the next thing, obviously, we want to talk about the big thing of this episode, which is Keiwa and Kekera. I felt like it is a little bit rushed, like how they actually ended the episode, and not ended the episode, ended the story, that it doesn't have that much of a build up compared to Michinaga and also Beroba itself, because like wow, we get to see so much back and forth between Michi and Beroba. Like Beroba is looking down on Michi is looking down on Beroba, and finally we get to see them dueling it out in the previous episode. But like the way like Keiwa and Kekera is just like, okay, like I don't know, man. Like I really feel like it is a little bit rushed. I just don't feel like they don't have the similar tension that is going on between Beroba and Michinaga. I feel like the way they write Michinaga and Beroba is like way better than the story they write for Kekera and also Keiwa. But one thing I have to say I really love is how they ended the story itself. They actually ended it with Keiwa being appreciative to Kekera, because without Kekera, Keiwa would never be a Kamen Rider. He would never join the DGP, because in order for you to join the DGP, you need to be selected by one of the sponsors. That is how you originally get into the DGP itself. And without Kekera, Keiwa would never become a Kamen Rider. So seeing him kind of like thanking Kekera to be the kind of like the reason why he became a Kamen Rider, it kind of like reminded me of how the original story of Kamen Rider actually started. Kamen Rider Ichigo became a Kamen Rider because he was being like he was being designed, or how do I say, he was, what was the correct word, modified. He was being modified by the Shocker team to become kind of like their soldier, one of their soldier. But I think something went wrong. He still have his human intelligence and his human heart intact. He still have his compassion in him, and that is why, but at the end of the story, he became the very thing that the Shocker wants to use to take over the war. Is also the thing that destroyed the Shocker team itself, which is Kamen Rider itself. Okay, so very interesting story, and I felt like it is really glad to see that Keiwa, like the Kamen Rider that Kekera built, is the reason why he was being defeated at the end of the story itself. So next episode is gonna be really insane, because next episode we finally are gonna get a lot of the opening scene like being checked off the list. Okay, a lot of people is actually saying that, hey, I don't think we are ever gonna see the scene where Sumori points a gun at Ukyo ass, but I guess wrong. Okay, next episode we're gonna see that. And the reason why we are actually gonna see that is obviously that Sumuri is not our Sumuri, okay? It's not our beautiful navigator Sumuri. It is the emo sumo that is gonna point the gun at Ukyo as. So another thing that happened in this episode is like directly a reference to the opening song is obviously Ukyo S breaking out from the chain that is binding him and kind of forcing him to become the god of creation, something like that. So if you really think about it, the opening song has been spoiling us since day one, and I don't know, man. Like, we should have made the connection when we actually saw like Mitsune being a goddess of creation. Like, we should have made the connection right there and then, but no one made that connection, not me, and I don't think any of you actually make the connection. But then again, if you want to tell me you make the connection long ago, let me know in the comment section below. But that is all from me. Episode 47 of Geats is really interesting, but that is also from me. Why do I keep repeating myself? I don't know. But if you made it this far into the video, means you enjoy the content, you enjoy the thought that we have, and I hope that you'll continue to support me in Kamen Rider Gachado as well, because Gachat has been, like, based on a few things that has been shown to us, it seems to be quite a fun series. It is not that serious, I would assume, but then again, it is still a Kamen Rider series that I would love to go through with all of you guys. And final word for you to comment in the comment section below to let me know you finished the video is gonna be detect, DETECT. Why detect? Because I detect a subscribe coming along the way, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.